Song incoming. Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silent pleas. Can I cry it out? Can I take to task reasons for all my doubts down there? Would it be too much to ask? I don't know. Where was I going when the light wasn't showing the path pulled out from under my gaze? And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding, the wounds cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I awoke beyond words and alone to the shapes of my bones, my bones. Is this time to atone for my confusion, or to stick out my chin and shed the old skin of disbelief? And this light as it is, boundless as the black seas I once crossed in defiance. Can I too drown in its healing? Where was I going when the light wasn't showing the path pulled out from under my gaze? And where was it leading? Past the
I forgot to minimize the studio cam so you could see the Airwindows hit record meter readings all the way through. But anyways, okay, so new subscriber, you requested to know a bit more about this meter. Truth is, I don't understand it all that well still. I generally focus on, let me just stop it. I focus on this reading right here, which is a measure of, I guess, forcefulness in terms of, it mainly seems to give an indication of how propulsive it is, especially in terms of the rhythm section. And then, of course, now these readings are, it's just scrolling without any input. But brightness was consistently down below 10%, which is where I want it. Sonority, anywhere between 50 and 90, and dark, taking up the rest of the percentage. It's pretty much where I want it. As for the you can go and to airwindows.com and read the creator's blurb on the thing. He explains it, but he's a highly technical guy. I'm not very technically proficient. I try to keep up with the technical stuff as best I can. But in general, down here at the bottom, the more sonority, the darker it is. And there are 3 graph lines, blue, red, and green. Green, which is an indication of something that he calls intention. This is all ultimately math, right? So intention, the equation is both sonority and novelty, which is blue dot range. Blue dot range, what are blue dot? It's all sort of interconnected, and maybe you can understand it better than I can. Intention is sonority and novelty plus balanced toned minus RMS, right? So I just have an idea of how to read it. And another thing that I use it for is, now this is not so much the case anymore, but back when, before I got brightness under control, you can see right here it says overslew. That can be a problem when you got a lot of brightness, and with overslew you get these red spikes along this part of the graph right here. And there's a tool here. See if I can pull up the right one. Okay, now that's my console emulator. Air 4. This is something that he provided that basically it prevents treble overslewing. I keep it there just in case, but I don't think I'm having any issues with that at this point. Anyway, I find it useful. It's kind of like some of the things that you look for on it aren't things that you necessarily pick up with your ears. So in a way, it's kind of like instrument flying. But anyway, yeah, that's meter. Yeah, here's another thing that he provides, which is quite useful. It's bypassed right now, but over here at the very end of the mix bus. This is something he came out with 2 or 3 weeks ago called CANS, the room simulator for headphone mixers. Now, Tone Boosters also provides a very similar plugin. It's just supposed to simulate different studio monitoring environments. And this does a really good job as far as I can tell. I messed around with the Tone Boosters version, and it also seems quite good. Here's what it sounds like. I've got it kind of at a medium-large monitoring room setting, diffusion at 0.75. I think default is 0.5. And there are other tweaks that you can make. If you haven't already, sir, I recommend going to airwindows.com and download his Airwindows Consolidated plugin. This is what it looks like. If I insert audio effects and choose Airwindows Consolidated, it comes up like this, default at Galactic Reverb. But you click this drop down here, and this is all the tools in the toolkit, classified according to type or function or whatever. And, well, it's really something to check out. He's very particular and peculiar, and he has his own ideas. He's really out of the box, and I'm going to be getting into a couple of his more recent offerings tonight, as well as maybe a couple of older ones as well, just to give you more of an idea of what he has to offer. So anyway, but yeah, let me just get rid of this and CANS. So here's what that sounds like. The way I have it, this is a setting that I just prefer. Bypassed. But I can choose like a bigger room, Studio C. I like B. D. E. E is like kind of like outside in the hallway, I think, of a really big monitoring room.
Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands.
Basically, I mean, I think I understand how it's to be used, and I think it works really pretty well. It does the intended purpose as stated in the blurb. So that's CANS under utility here. Utility. You can see there's quite a lot of other utilities as well. All right, so just for my own purposes, my own notes, I'm quickly going to run through levels and EQ and really quick. And then I'm going to get into some of these Airwindows plugins, a couple of which I just freshly applied to this mix before starting this video. All right, so where am I out on levels with this? I did add a bass part since last time, and I retracked the main vocal. So, where are we? Track 1, drums, minus 17.3. Vital synth, minus 21.3. Hammond emulator, minus 31. Contact 8, number 1, minus 17. Contact 8, number 2, minus 17.1. Acoustic guitar, minus 15.9. Main vocal, minus 9.9. Bridge vocal, minus 3.9. And Contact 8, number 3, that's the bass line at minus 22.5. All right, and then let's just go back into track view and look at our pro channels. So, by the way, if you're new to this, and again, I'm here for specifically for if you happen to be fighting an addiction, specifically alcohol, because that's what I've dealt with throughout my adult life. Audio work has really helped me turn a corner and overcome that addiction. The focus and attention to detail and the problem-solving skills that are required. You can't booze and do this at the same time effectively. You just can't do it. It's like one or the other. I chose this. And so if you're interested, even if you have no experience with any of this, but you're just interested in it, I do have a tutorial on how to get started with this. That link is in the description. It's primitive. It's when I first started this channel. I'll probably do another one, but it's there. And my email address is in the channel description. Fire me an email. I overcame my booze problem by myself. I didn't have an AA. I live in a country where there basically is no AA. Not that I'm an AA person anyway, but I did it without any support network to speak of. But one of the main reasons I started this channel was to sort of try to pay it forward, be there for anybody else that might be dealing with that problem. And it was killing me, right? So I'm here for you. I'll try to be, if you want to check this out. Okay. So if you're new to it, just kind of like, but the other kind of person that this is intended for is someone who just, I don't know, if you don't want clickbait and gimmicks and jump cuts and you just want to sit in somebody's studio and hang out and, sort of check out someone else's workflow and maybe learn something, maybe offer some feedback, some suggestions. I'm constantly learning, and I hope to learn from others that know better than I do. All right, so anyway, with that out of the way, right. So I just do this for my own reference, but also, again, for those few out there who might be into this kind of thing. These are all individual tracks, these horizontal strips, and they all feed into this master channel right here, where final processing is applied to the signal through these things called plugins. They're tools, effects, whatnot. And then that gets processed into a final stereo output. All right. This is a song called Atone. Okay, so there is a signal path. There's an audio signal path, and before the audio signal enters this channel strip, it goes through something called the Pro channel, which is right here. And this is where we apply initial EQ, compression, and other settings to taste. So I'm just running through these for my own reference. All right, so this is the drum track. The drum track's MIDI. Vital One is MIDI. Hammond emulator MIDI, but these have been rendered into audio to conserve CPU. I will be going back and forth with those momentarily. But anyways, so drums, we've got... Okay, so, yeah. Compression, drums bus warm, EQ, drums bus 02, tube, drums bus warm, console, drums warm S-type, vital synth, we have compressor off, EQ, synth warm lead 01, tube off, console is synth warm lead S type. All right, Hammond organ emulator, compressor off, EQ, orchestral string section. Chosen mainly for the bass roll off here. All right. And let me see, tube, guitar, electric dirtbag. I guess I must have liked it. And then Neve for the console emulator. Contact 1. We've got compressor off. EQ warm lead 0, synth warm lead 02, tube, mix bus warm, console, type A, Trident A range, bright top and less lows. All right, contact 2. We've got compressor off, EQ, no EQ, tube off, console, synth warm lead S-type. Acoustic guitar. We've got compressor off, EQ, as usual with this acoustic guitar right here. It's a very peculiar acoustic guitar. It's my favorite that I've ever had, but it's peculiar. And this is a really nice EQ curve for that, and it is acoustic, big and bright. I'm surprised I have a tube. No preset. Okay, but it's on. Can't remember what I did with that, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now. And console emulator, Neve. On the vocal, I did change this. Okay, so compressor is on, but no preset. I guess I set that manually. I don't remember doing that, but I do remember there's no preset on this EQ, but I did this manually. So yeah, I did this manually by ear during playback. Of course, that's before retracking the vocal. So now that I've retracked the vocal, I might need to go back and reconsider this. The new vocal is a lot more present, more clear. The first one was a scratch. It was kind of anemic, and it had a bit too much. It was a bit woofy, kind of a bit muddy. So I'm going to have to come back and reconsider that. Tube, no preset. Tube on a vocal. Okay. I'm going to have to come back and reconsider these. Console vocal smooth S-type. And the bridge vocals the same. Same everything on the Pro channel. Finally, the bass. All right, now for bass parts on the Pro channel, I like to use this PC2A leveler instead of the standard compressor. And so gain is at 59%, peak reduction is at 39.5%. This chicken head is at GB. Normally I've got that at here at DBFS, but that's where it is for now. I'm going to leave it there for reference. EQ, bass, amp, sim, push, growl, and tube, bass 02, console, bass fat S-type. All right, that rounds out our Pro channel settings. And now let's get into, check on the bunny rabbit there. He's doing okay. Make sure he's not chewing on a wire, as bunny rabbits are wont to do. He's chilling. All right. So let's see. Where do I want to begin with? Yeah. All right. Let's start with BassDrive. Now, BassDrive is not a new one. It's been there for a long time, but it is. So I'm going to go ahead and unfreeze this bass track, and I'm hoping I'm not going to get glitching during playback. We'll just see what happens. But so there, that's unfrozen. Unfreezing it so that I can A/B this plugin, which is Airwindows BassDrive. It's under Amp Sims, and it's called BassDrive, but it's kind of a secret weapon plugin. It's not only for, bass lines, bass parts. It's good for a lot of different things. It's good on guitars, especially electric guitars. Heavily overdriven distortion, fuzz, those kind of guitar parts, really good for that. A lot of these Airwindows plugins are, they use unconventional algorithms, and so you'll see, he'll say this is an EQ that's not technically an EQ, or this is a filter that's not actually a filter. It behaves like an EQ, but it's not technically an EQ. It behaves like a filter, but technically it's not a filter. It's doing something else. It's the best way I can put it, based on my admittedly limited technical understanding. It's a way of sort of redistributing and focusing energy in rather unconventional ways. And to get a better understanding of that, you just have to, every tool, every plugin comes with his blurb on it. And he generally will explain it in technical terms, and then he'll kind of dumb it down for guys like me. He's a good writer, very good writer, and a very good-hearted, very considerate man. He's a good human being. He survives on Patreon, and I think all of his work is open source and free, and available in Windows, Mac, and Linux. All right, so BassDrive. It's just, like I said, it's a secret weapon. And it's no good to explain it. Well, he says it here, yeah, BassDrive is an old secret weapon. So that's his words. Like a kind of bass amp. I'm not going to read through the whole blurb. You can pause it if you want and read through it, like pause it there and read it. And then pause it there and read it. All right. But so sometimes I like to add this to a track when I want to focus the energy and make it punch through or cut through in such a way that I can then go over to the volume slider and bring that down. And it's going to sound clearer and more present and more musical. And yet it's quieter. That's how I generally use it. All right. So now I'm going to A-B it. First, I will A-B it with this synth bass track solo. And one thing I got to do here real quick is, as I mentioned last time, there is a bug in the contact player. I got to make sure that cutoff is at the proper setting. It has a way of rolling down to 0. So it is at the proper setting. I'm going to keep it down here in front of me just to make sure it doesn't blip back down. Now, so I'm going to bypass BassDrive and away we go. And engage. Right? So you can see, so when you load BassDrive, it's the default settings on these knobs are 0.5 top to bottom, and I just bumped up highs to 0.6. That's all I did. I tried bringing drive up a little bit, but it was just too much. But just so you get a feel for what it does, I'll just go ahead and play with the knobs during playback. I'll just tweak it a bit, and you can hear what it does. Mid is really strong. Presence is also very, very strong. So just took high up to 60. I am getting a little bit of playback glitch. For some reason, this project, I'm having this issue, and it seems to, it's only 9 tracks, but I developed this issue with this project using the Vital synth, even though I got it frozen. I don't know, man. It's just this project in particular. But anyway, so this bass synth was up around minus 17.5, I think. And after applying BassDrive, I was able to roll it down to minus 22.5, and it's just sitting exactly like I want it to sit. So, but again, BassDrive is really useful for, you just have to decide case by case whether it's improving things or not. But it is, his tools are generally exactly as he describes them, and its secret weapon is a good description for that one. So, all right. And, FerricTDS is another one of my favorites. I don't know if you're aware of this one. It's free. As you know, everything I use is free, but I'm not indiscriminate about that. This is a nice one to check out if you don't have it. FerricTDSmkII Mark II, I think, or MK. I don't think that's LL. I think that's like Mark II. And it doesn't have a lot of presets, but it's got some good ones. My favorite is this one, Gentle Leveling. And you've got your dynamics knob, your saturation knob. It's got a limiter. This is just a straight up gentle leveling. It's just kind of a nice glue. It's a nice glue. It's hard to describe what it does. It just does something that I like. And generally I use it on the mix bus, but as I do here. But sometimes I do apply it to individual tracks, like bass. Sometimes I'll just try it, and if I like what it does, I just leave it. All right, what else I want to focus on? Yeah. Let's just go to, let's go to the, so I'm going to go ahead and undo that, unfreeze. And now I'm going to unfreeze the drums, and I think we're going to get some playback glitching. But we'll deal with it. So, this is something that Airwindows guy Chris just recently released. It's called HyperSoft. HyperSoft is a more extreme form of soft clipper, and reading this blurb will give you a pretty good glimpse into the mind of the guy who makes these things. He does live streams 2 or 3 times a week where he allows you to sit in on his development sessions. And I sat in on a few of the development sessions when he was designing this tool. It was really interesting to watch. I didn't understand a lot of it, but a lot of it was just running sine waves through his algorithms and looking at the shapes of waves. And this is a wave folding saturator. It's under the saturation category. So HyperSoft is a more extreme form of soft clipper. This is my first time using it, and he says down here that it's good for drums. Forget exactly where he says that, but he does specify that he thinks it's good for drums and possibly bass. So let's see. It was, it's a new form of soft clip, which I think lends itself to drums, but will probably also suit basses. Anyway, he talks a lot about drums in the blurb, so I thought I didn't want to. I felt that the drums were not energetic enough, not punching through enough, but I didn't want to add. I didn't want to change the compressor settings. I didn't want to turn it up. Didn't want to turn the fader up. So I thought I would try this and see if it helped. And in my opinion, it did. So right here, where there's this fill leading into the first chorus, I'm going to bypass HyperSoft and play it, and then engage HyperSoft and just A/B this drum fill intro and like the first few seconds of the chorus. So let's hope it doesn't glitch too much. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh. The drum machine got turned off. All right. I don't know why. Anyway, here we go. All right.
Where was I going when the light?
All right. And then on. Yeah. Listen to that again. Especially those toms, it just really makes them hit a little bit harder. Let me see, turn it off again.
Where was I?
And on. Yeah. So, and it just, the drums just sit a lot better throughout the mix. Now, he explains what these settings do. So if you want to read the whole blurb, you can pause it right there. And then I can do this and pause it right there. And then pause it right there. And then pause it right there. That's the blurb. He has an interesting mind and he has interesting ideas. Very, very unconventional. And so it's just a very cool toolkit to have in your arsenal. So I've got depth at 0.7 and bright down at 0.3. Again, his with a lot of his plugins, the defaults tend to be 0.5. So depth at 0.7, bright at 0.3. And I was just, that made me really happy. So I'm going to undo the unfreeze there. And what else did I want to feature here? Oh, yeah. Here's another interesting tool. Zoom. That would probably be right here. Nope. That's now he has a whole lot of console emulators. This is one of them, Atmosphere. My first time using this one. His console emulators generally, he's got a lot of them, as you can see. And there will be a channel and a bus. Okay. And they all sound quite different. I'm a big fan of Console LA. I've used Console MC quite a bit. I've used Console 7. They're all different. This is my first time mixing with Atmosphere, and I'm liking it. So bus, you put in the mix bus. Channel, you put at the end of every channel. See, here is Zoom. So, yeah, Zoom is a bank of density-like wave shapers for subtly modulating peak energy. I think I will just read through this one, just to kind of remind myself of what's going on here. But generally, so even though this is it's technically a distortion, but it's a mastering distortion. Yeah. It's very subtle. A lot of his tools are very, very subtle. And some of them so much so that you can't hear what they're doing. This one, it's very subtle. You can hear it, but it's very subtle. Zoom is a bank of density-like wave shapers for subtly modulating peak energy. This is a little piece of what could become a new mastering plugin, but I've got a lot of testing to do to work out whether that should happen. Zoom is wave shapers, as many as 5 stacked up for high gain levels, and most settings will use at least a couple. They're applied sort of in parallel. The basic idea is a lot like density, but handled very differently. The purpose, I'll read this much and maybe leave it at that. The purpose is to try and alter very strongly the peak energy and only the peak energy of the sound, while leaving the loudness more or less alone. That's why the negative settings below 0.5 don't get as much quieter as those in density. It's taking the hottest peaks and further boosting them while cutting back quieter stuff. Boosts still work as in density, except the character will be a little different. So anyway, it's the kind of thing where you stick it in there and you tweak it and you see if you find a sweet spot that you like. Mine is generally somewhere between 0.7 and 0.8. And I'll just go ahead and A/B it. And you tell me, or you see if you can hear the diff. So hopefully no glitching. Here we go. Whoops. Okay.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing?
Could you hear the dropout?
Pulled out from under my gaze. Where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding, the wounds cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the tapes parted and I awoke beyond words and alone to the shapes of my bones.
All right. It's actually more pronounced than it normally is. But I like it. I like what it's doing there. So Airwindows Zoom. Let's see. As long as we're on Airwindows, this is his tape machine emulator, ToTape8. And I generally, I'll put this at, these are my default settings. I'll put it at input 0.53, head bump 0.57. I generally don't touch head frequency. He's got that at a very specific frequency that he thinks works in most cases. Tilt and shape are quite interesting. Again, I'll just go ahead and you can pause and read this, and then pause, and then pause, then pause. Pause. So that's, I like the tone boosters, Real Bus. Is that what it's called? Real Bus? Yeah. And I like this one too. And I like them together. They're perfectly compatible. It's awesome. It's amazing. I'm so glad that I have them both. Anyway, I generally like tilt at 0.3, shape at 0.7, flutter at 0.7, flutter speed around 0.3. Bias I generally leave alone, head bump at 0.57, but to A/B it,
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing the path pulled out from under my gaze?
pretty subtle.
And where was it leading past the end of the bleeding of wounds cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had set on mine.
I can hear the difference better on the dropout than when, better when disengaging than when engaging. Okay, so, what else? Interstage. This is under the subtlety category. Subtlety, right? And a subtle and sophisticated analogifier, something I just stick in there. He says it makes a difference, even if you can't readily hear it. And I believe him. Relife is exciter that I typically use. Shape and life somewhere between 19 and 25. Right. So anyways, yeah, that's what I've got. I've got the TB compressor. It's simple compression. It's basically my go-to preset with the bus compressor, TB bus compressor. See, once again, Airwindows ToTape8, Tone Boosters Real Bus. And for whatever reason, I got it round and warm preset and Swiss 77 15 IPS. And I might have tweaked it. I think I tweaked I enabled emphasis and I tweaked the mid-side setting. And I think I brought saturation up. But anyways, that's what I've got that set at. Ferric. Let's just A/B that real quick. Again, on gentle leveling.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing the path pulled out from under my gaze?
Yeah, man. That just...
And where was it leading past the end of the bleeding of wounds cauterized?
It just brings it to the table. I love it. I love this plugin. All right. Resume. We already did that. There's our, console. You can't hear any difference with this. Again, that's just to prevent treble overslew. And then there's meter. That bright should be coming down.
Is this time to atone?
Right. That's about where it should be. Yeah.
For my confusion, or to stick out my chin and shed.
Okay, so you see sonority is around 80%, 82, and you've got like a black background with some green.
And this light as it
So the higher sonority goes the black, more black and the less green.
says the black
The more dark, the more green.
crossed in defiance.
The more bright, then you'll get more like blue.
Drowning its
Although this is blue sonority. I don't know, man. Yeah, some of these drum fills are out of. I got to go back and edit the drums. I'm not a drummer. Never have been. So yeah, the drums are unfinished. I know from experience that with bright up in the 20s and 30s, you'll get like blues and reds in the background. This is kind of where I like things right here. And according to Chris, like you want the green line to be as high as possible. That, at least according to him, that indicates alignment with songs that have historically, been hit material. All right. So, okay. So let me see here. Just real quick. So on the drums, we've got HyperSoft, TB compressor. At that setting, I'm just going to bring these up so that if I need to, I can come back and pause and look at the settings. Interesting. Okay, I'm using his K plate. I wonder if he's recently re-released his plate reverbs. I can't remember if this is the old one or the new one. But anyway, real bus. And there's my atmosphere channel plug-in. All right, and Vital IDX. Atone Digital Multiply. This is a really good free plug-in, man. It's a good one. It's classified under delays, I think, but it's a stereo widener. It's a modulation. Check out the knobs. There's nothing wrong with it, man. I don't overuse it, but I do use it. It's quite good. There's our STFU. Good old Finisher Micro. That's a desert island. And, oh, man. This is, I can't unfreeze this track and show you what this is doing. Because for some reason, this Vital synth is it's just killing my CPU. I can't do it. But if you don't have UJAM Finisher Micro, get it. You have to jump through a few hoops to get this thing, but it's a desert island tool. It's worth it. And basically, I'm using it to when it's you see this green automation line here. That's when it kicks in, and it turns that vital synth. It turns it into two synths. All right, and another higher synth at a higher octave, atmosphere, angelic choirs, that kind of thing. On the infinity setting, Finisher Micro is amazing. If you don't have it, I recommend it. And Airwindows, clip softly. All right. Moving on, almost done here. Hammond. Wow, 9 of them. Okay. IDX. Tone Boosters mid-side transformer. Airwindows. Stonefire comp. Ooh, yeah. Stonefire, man. Stonefire and Stonefire comp. This is a recent one. And I thought it did well. I had a hard time getting this Hammond track to sit the way I wanted it to, and this was integral. This tool right here, this helped get it to where I wanted it to be. Kalman, it's based on Kalman filters, which are typically, they're used for scientific applications. They're not for audio, but he uses them for audio. Stonefire. I have yet to put that Stonefire into the mix bus. I will. And then probably Energy. Nope. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to go back and revisit this. I don't know if I want Stonefire comp and Stonefire. This is another reason I need to, I do this, because I catch things like this by doing this mixer's log. I might have forgotten or neglected to take out Stonefire. See, Stonefire is the non-EQ EQ designed for Console X. If you get into Airwindows, you'll quickly learn about Console X. The eagerly anticipated Console X. Okay, and then Energy. This is phenomenal what this thing does. Again, you can pause and read. Pause and read. Pause and read. Energy. And then there's Energy 2 in case you're tracking at 96K. Okay, Airwindows Golden Slew. Multi-stage slew clipper based on the golden ratio. You can pause and read. Pause and read. Pause and read. And then we've got our STFU. I'm going to have to rethink that. Okay. I'm not sure I like that. I'm not liking that envelope, looking at it. Oh, yeah. I mentioned last time, Tone Booster's reverb is quite nice. It's quite nice. And I've got it set at a whopping 40% on the wet out. So I must have really liked it on this track. Usually not that wet with my reverbs, but there's where it's sitting. And then finally, okay, there's my atmosphere channel. I need to add atmosphere channel to one of these channels here. I forget which. Okay. And here on contact 8.1, we've got IDX and atmosphere channel. Contact 8.2, IDX, wider, and atmosphere channel. Also, I need to make note of that too. Wider reminds me of that. Going to console view, I do have a bus with Airwindows seriously, which is it's a stereo widener with a non-lin control to analogify the filters. Okay, so this is a widener. You can pause and read. Pause and read. Okay, so I've got, you can see right here, these are all getting sent to that bus to varying degrees, okay? And let me see, this one has got the wider treatment, and it is going to the seriously bus at a level of -9. And I remember doing that. I decided that it was best with both, oddly enough. Acoustic guitar, we've got IDX. We've got TB compressor, 2-to-1 gentle compression, smooth rider. I did tweak it a bit, I'm sure. And our EZQ in the dark warm quadrant. Finisher micro, chorus. And okay, so let me see. Yeah, atmosphere channel. And the new vocal. Okay, I also got the TB reverb on the vocal as well. Really liked it on this vocal. IDX, EZQ in the warm bright quadrant. It says no preset. Why does it say no preset? I'm going to have to come back and revisit this. Sidechain at 1000 hertz. Yeah. Okay. Bright ambience too. This one is really interesting, man. This is really good on vocals and drums. You can use this on drums to get like a kind of an 80s style gated reverb, among other things. And we just hear what it was doing with the vocals here real quick.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing the path pulled out from under?
You hear that?
my gate?
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, finisher micro, big hair. Slew 3. This is it's for controlling brightness. Yeah. Slew clipping, meant for an analog-like darkening effect. Pause, read. Pause, read. All right. That's at 0.51. And got our tone boosters reverb, and then our atmosphere channel. Then the bridge vocal, basically the same with Tone Booster's mid side and Time Machine set on Cheap Toy and these settings. Okay, lo-fi. And then we already looked at this, but IDX. This is the synth bass part, IDX. Ferric. And then BassDrive. Oh, and I should also add, this is the one. I'm going to have to unfreeze it to add it, but I need to add, whoops. Need to add console's atmosphere channel. There. All right. And
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing? The path pulled out from under my gate.
well, there we go. Actually, I'm running OBS to record this video, and without OBS running, it's probably not going to glitch. So I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. These always go on longer than I want, but this is what I do. And hang on a second. I'm blanking on your name, sir. My new subscriber who kind of like digs this speed. Let me see. It was DJ. DJ, I can call you DJ, right? DJ Waterman. DJ. Thanks for... my mic cut out. Thanks for subscribing. And I look forward to checking out some of your audio work when you decide it's time to make it available for others to hear. And I appreciate your feedback, sir, and I advice and encouragement. It means a lot. I think I'm having a cable issue. Anyway, it means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And so, yeah, that's, you see, yeah. All right. So that's it for this installment. This is a song, Atone. And nothing political about this one. This is about meeting your maker. What might that be like? This is a personal one. But yeah, really Floydian. And that's just the way it came out. It wasn't by design. Also quite happy with the chords on this one, especially during that bridge. I used not to use so many chords, but these days, this way my songwriting is gone. I think this song has like 14 chords in it. Yeah, happy with the way this is turning out. So thanks for watching and listening, and I'll probably be back tomorrow with another song that I haven't discussed here on this channel yet. A love song. I don't write love songs, but my missus told me I couldn't do it, so of course I couldn't let that challenge go unanswered. So I did it. Okay, that's it from lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea at 4:09 a.m. It's about time for me to wrap this up and try to get some shut-eye before I have to get up and Christmas Eve. It's hard to believe. Okay, that's it for now. Over and out.